In a recent interview from IMDb, Zoe Saldana as well as Sam Worthington was interviewed about Avatar Fire and Ash, and although they talk about things that was already mentioned in a previous interview by James Cameron, there are some things I wish to break down. Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day. And as I said, this interview comes from IMDb, which you can find the link to in the pinned comment as well as the description below, and it was an interview held with Zoe Saldana as well as Jake Sully. Now the first question the interviewer asks again about the title, what Fire and Ash means, and Zoe Saldana just reaffirms what James Cameron said, that it's unlike anything we've ever seen, yet it's exactly what we're going to want to see, which again makes me wonder what that is. What is that what we want to see phrase? What does that mean? Is it going to be all out action? Is it going to be emotional? Is it going to be a visual treat, or is it going to be all of that combined? I'm probably going for that last option, all of it combined, going for a 3-hour epic movie, not only concluding the first 3 Avatar movies, but setting up for 4 and 5, giving us a hint of what's to come, but also essentially, like I said, wrapping up the prior 2 movies. Zoe Saldana then talks about Avatar The Way of Water, where we were introduced to the water people, to the Metkayina, and Fire and Ash is going to introduce us to a whole new host of characters, a new environment, and just essentially how that's going to affect the Sully family going forward, dealing with the tragic aftermath at the events of the end of the second movie. Then the interviewer moves over to Sam Worthington, asking essentially how Jake Sully will evolve throughout Fire and Ash, given that he just lost his eldest son, and how his character will continue to evolve, you know, going from the first movie to the second one being a father and a family person, and going into the third one. And instead of Sam Worthington focusing on Jake, he basically gives a very broad answer saying, you know, it's going to change and evolve all of the characters. But then the interviewer asks Zoe Saldana how Neytiri is going to change in the third movie, whereas Sam Worthington then quickly answers that essentially they cannot be paid enough money to answer that question, where they just laugh it off, kind of make a joke of it. But I do wonder if there's more meaning to it, essentially if Neytiri is going to go through a very big change in the third movie, possibly somewhat of a darker, vengeful, hateful change, given the fact that she lost her eldest son. Thus we may see a much darker side to Neytiri. She does answer the question afterwards, just saying that Neytiri has changed over time, you know, as these outsiders has affected and disrespected their sacred grounds on Pandora, and how that's changed her from being this young naive character to becoming a family person, and now the changes has affected her family, again being the loss of her eldest son, and that Neytiri will just continue to evolve and change due to those factors. So it will be interesting to see how Neytiri will be in the third movie. They conclude the interview essentially talking about the fans' perception about the characters and how they interact with Sam and Zoe in real life, and how the movie has affected people. So I highly recommend you do watch the interview for yourself. It is only about 3 minutes long, so not a very lengthy interview, but given that we're seeing some interviews here and there pop up after D23, I do hope that at some point we will have a lengthy interview from James Cameron giving us more detail of the movie, but I doubt we'll get much more information anytime soon. If I had to guess or speculate, I would say maybe we will get a full synopsis of the movie towards the end of the year, maybe 1 or 2 more concept arts, but likely marketing will only really start to push the movie around the middle of next year, so it may be a little while before we know more information on Fire and Ash. But what is your essential burning question on the movie? Let me know in the comments below, and for more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.